has it been since you've seen her?
Last September, she treated me to a trip to Las Vegas.
That's so cool.
Oh my God, Michelle! It's so nice to see you.
so happy
How
to
have
see
you
you.
been?
Great.
I'm good. Oh, is this your friend?
Hi.
Finally.
I heard so
met
much about you.
Me too. I've heard so much about you.
It's true.
Everything is true, right?
Yeah.
Come on in. Let's go. Where'd you come from? LA or another?
Taiwan. We went
Oh,
shopping.
Taiwan.
Wow, look at this place.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love your place,
Thank
Edna.
Lovely.
And this piece of furniture, where did you get that? That's
Oh, that one. Oh,
Cheap.
that's from my
Masterpiece.
grandmother. She gave it to me. I'm glad you like it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love everything. I just, oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I mean, this place has been here for 20 years, and I love it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move. Let's chat here
Okay.
for a while.
Let's go.
So, Michelle, how are you?
I've been okay. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's been like how many years now?
I don't remember. It's maybe 10 years ago.
And
Was what?
I've heard so much about you, Joyce. And I heard you have like a cooking show. And
Yeah.
where's that?
It's on
What
Amazon
channel?
Prime.
Oh, in
And so-
YouTube. Oh,
Yeah.
YouTube?
Well, no, Amazon Prime. Well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
on
Oh,
YouTube
gosh,
also.
yeah.
I did it on
Also.
both.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh,
some
you
people
have it
don't
on
have.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, how long will you be here in Manila?
13 days.
Have you have plans like to go elsewhere, Cebu or a beach or so?
Well, you know, I want to see that crucifixion
Crucifixion.
For Holy
for
Week.
Holy Week.
Yeah, because Holy Week's coming.
I
So
was even going to get a
Pampanga.
film crew together for that. I think that's something not everybody sees.
Yes, you've written to me about that. Like if I can find a film crew, but honestly, the number that you gave me, I couldn't get in touch with that person.
Right.
But are you serious to see that crucifixion? You know, they nail
I want to see it.
human beings on the cross, like enacting Jesus on the cross.
No, I want to see it.
Okay. Yeah, that's somewhere in
She's
Pampanga.
into bondage.
I've never been to that, but I'll, of course, I know people that can take us there. But wow, Holy Week. So that has to be a Good Friday.
Right.
And
I don't
you're up
know.
to
I
it,
don't know when
Chucks?
it is, but I want to
Oh,
see
I'm always
Yeah.
up for adventures.
Okay, Pampanga, that's one. You know, do you know that we have sheet massages here? So you must be tired. You might want to have a massage tonight.
about that.
She's addicted to
I
massage.
I know.
And
It's
all
on
the
shopping and-
facials and all the beauty services
She's into
and the
pampering.
shopping. I mean, she's done it all here in the Philippines.
That's
That's
true.
why you love
Keep
coming
coming back. I've
Yes.
been back here at least 20 times.
So are you
Versus-
okay with everything? Like,
Well, there is a little problem.
yeah, yes,
I left my debit card in America.
okay, debit
There's a
card.
tear coming down.
So do you have like
I
other
left
credit
my
cards or
debit
other
card.
cards?
I haven't got any money. I just don't have any.
Okay, wow, really?
I'm so scared.
No, Michelle, no, but wait. Are you serious, Michelle? Or are you up to something? Because you know this girl, I'm not surprised. She's always into a fix.
Well, I think I can fix it. I've been talking to my bank every day.
Oh, in Taiwan? You tried to call the bank?
I've been calling
Yeah,
from
she did.
Taiwan, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's how I stubbed my toe.
you stubbed your toe.
She injured herself too.
She went to the business section and she took the light pick. You know, when you take the card out for the
Yeah.
key card, it shuts the lights off. So it was pitch black in there. And then she thought it would be more convenient to take my shoes too, because they were right there. So she took my shoes and the lights. And then I went to use the bathroom, and of course I tripped over this metal threshold. And I ended up on the floor. But that's just part of
Well,
my
I was
adventure.
traumatized. I mean, you know, how would you feel? You're the other side of the world and you don't have any money. I mean, I feel terrible about it.
That, Michelle.
So what are you gonna do? You're supposed to say the line.
Yeah?
What are you going to do?
For the meanwhile, you're supposed
How will you manage that, Michelle? Michelle. Michelle has been my friend for so many years. And I don't see her all the time, but we managed to pick up things just like before. There was a time I didn't see her for 3 years, but I've always considered her my best friend.
So Michelle and I decided we're going to go to the Philippines and go to Pampanga, which is where they have a crucifixion. It's like 110 degrees. So Edna and I decided we were going to go outside and look at the crucifixion. And so we did that 3 times, and I took some pictures, but it was so unbearably hot. And Michelle's wearing like this hair that weighed like 10 pounds. And it's like this long hair, and it's 110 degrees. I mean, I almost died wearing a hat. I don't know how she does it.
Well, we did make it back safe and sound. Everything is fine. Edna's back in my life. She did make me a little bit mad, or she didn't just make me mad. She hurt my feelings terribly.
Well, I guess we have a lot of things in common. Like, we are truly women. We like to look beautiful. We like beautiful clothes. We like to look good. Anything that makes us look beautiful. Treatments, makeup, fancy clothes, shoes, everything that makes us feel like we're real women and real feminine. And yeah, when it comes to food, we eat the same healthy food. We like to exercise, and it's a mindset for us to be fit. So I think we call ourselves like beauty with grace, and we want to age gracefully. At this point, that's really far from how we think right now. But one thing with Michelle is she's always in a tight fix. Really, like for instance, her last trip to the Philippines for 2 weeks. The moment she landed, she told me that she had a problem. And I said, what was that? And she said she left her debit card. And that was the only card that would save her life in the Philippines. And come on, I mean, like, no cash, no debit card. What does she expect to do? Not that I mind. Okay, I'm gonna spend for her. That's no problem. But come on, you've got to be more responsible. You've got to plan your trip really better than that.
But she likes to have a lot of hair, and she like flings it in my face. Every time I sit next to her, she goes, so it hits me in the face like every day. I'm like, I mean, I sit on the side of her and she flings it on this side. So I sit on the side, she flings it on this side. I have tasted so many different colors of hair. She has blonde hair, she has black hair, brown hair, but she's hitting the blondes. And so I've been tasting those lately. Those aren't too bad. I mean, it's just like,
You know, because she's been always this angel to me. I mean, this girl has been like a saint. She has been so giving and so generous and so sweet over the years that I've known her. I brag about her to every one of my friends. I say, this girl is amazing. I know there's no friend that you can have. You can never have a friend like that.
And of course, it was good. Joyce was there to share half of the expenses. But it's just a lesson learned with Michelle. Like, she almost never learns. Like, I think last September, a few months ago, I planned a trip with her a month before that to meet up in Vegas. And that day, she showed up, and she was in her long pair of leather boots and a very thick jacket. And it was summer heat in Las Vegas. And we were walking that jacket. And of course, at the Bellagio Hotel where I was staying, we met at the lobby, and she was so, you know, she was so excited. She wanted to take pictures. She hanged her jacket there. We took pictures probably half an hour. And true enough, when we came back, the jacket was missing. And she said, oh, Edna, we have to look for that jacket because it was $1,000 jacket. And I said, oh my gosh, yes, we do have to look for that. And we reported to the front desk, and we called, and we did everything. Like, probably took us another 45 minutes just to try to look for the jacket. And we couldn't find it, and that bothered her. So the following day, she was lucky. Somehow, Michelle, when she gets into a fix, somehow it gets solved. But it gives us the pain in the ass just to, you know, along the way, just to do that. So the following day, we found the jacket, and she was happy with that. And this time when I met her, I talked about the jacket. I said, Michelle, you remember the jacket? And she said, oh yeah, but anyway, it's only a $9 jacket. And I said, what? You said it was $1,000 jacket. And she said, are you kidding me? You think I'll buy $1,000 jacket? And I said, oh my gosh, and you put us in that fix, you know. But never mind. Anyway, that was about Las Vegas.
So when she went off on me in that restaurant and made me feel so terrible, it really hurt my feelings. I mean, you know, you don't think I felt bad enough? I mean, it was hard enough to be on the other side of the world with no money and no debit card, relying on the kindness of my friends.
It's just like, anyway, Michelle has a habit of making appointments, but she doesn't like watch the time. So she says, we're going to meet at this church. So I'm sitting in this church, and that's also 110 degrees. I mean, it was so hot and humid. I was dying as I was shopping, and I had all these bags, and I was trying to do something instructive, but the lady at the church, she's like, you can't use your cell phone in the church. I'm like, what am I going to do? So then I'm trying hiding that, so then I'm sitting there, and I'm like so thirsty, and I'm dying. And like about 50 minutes, I was sitting there waiting for her. Finally, I looked down and she's texted me. She goes, oh, we're waiting outside for you. Like 55 minutes later. And Michelle's like, well, I go, where are you? And she's like, oh, I was getting an avocado shake. You know, those are so refreshing. And I'm like dying inside this hot, humid place, and I can't even like hardly breathe. It's like I'm so thirsty, but I'm sitting there because I promised her that I would be there at 2 o'clock, and it was nearly 3 o'clock when finally they rescued me.
Another thing was, even in that trip at the Vegas, with that leather boots, that was really warm. And the following day, I saw her with a pair of sandals, and I said, oh, goodness, that's better. You're warm. And she said, yes. And I said, Michelle, what's that bruise on your legs? And she said, oh, well, when I was trying to buy the sandals, I fell on the road, and it really gave me a bad bruise. And I said, yes, I see that, but wow, just to buy a pair of sandals, you have to get into that problem again. I mean, like, look at your legs. And she said, oh yeah, what's the big surprise? I mean, you know, and I tripped from the here and there. And I said, oh yeah, right. And plus, like, I'm glad you showed up on time, Michelle, in Vegas, because you're never really on time. You have no sense of time. You're, in a way, you're scatterbrained, but you're my friend, so I love you to death, you know. I really do accept you for what you are.
And I came out, and then I got into the car. So she has a habit of doing these like appointments, but she doesn't really show up. And so now I just don't even tell her if I'm going to be late, because I know she's going to be late. But she's got a heart of gold, and she's like the sweetest person ever, but she's a dingbat, and she doesn't even know how to use her cell phone. I mean, she goes, I didn't get this information. I go, I sent it to you. Oh, I didn't get it. And I said, okay, I'll send it to you again. And then finally, when I finally got her phone, I looked, and there were 170 unread messages. She goes, I didn't know you had to press the button. I thought, you know, the messages come automatically. And I'm like, okay, what about the emails? She didn't know you had to press the button for the emails either. She had emails, she had messages. She doesn't know how to use any of these contraptions. I mean, I was sitting there trying to show her how to do everything, and I'm not even techie girl. I'm like the worst person ever, but now she makes me feel like I'm like Einstein. But
Then to have her rub it in, and then, you know what else happened? Ironically, at the end of our trip, she lost her wallet with her credit card and her driver's license.
Michelle. But like thinking about the Philippines probably 15 years ago when you made that trip, and you stayed for a couple of months, and I thought you really wanted to stay, but I only recently found out you forgot your passport. And like, how, or you lost your passport? How could you lose that? Or probably you said it was stolen. But anyway, you had that passport missing. That's why you had another month to stay. I mean, my gosh, like, how could you lose that passport? I would keep my passport really well, but yeah, like you, that's true. Like, what else is new with you? But also, on the other hand, no matter what you do, Michelle, I really love you to death. I mean, we may fight. I think you haven't changed. I think in your life, you're always up to something that will upset you and eventually keep you back on track. And somehow you're looking for that drama. But nevertheless, you're still my friend and I love you to death.
But anyway, we got through it, and I still consider Edna to be my best friend. I love her always.
Anyway, we had a lot of kind of fun. We had some weird adventures. I got completely bitten with mosquito bites. I looked like a polka dot. I had completely, like every second I'd get a bite. And she didn't get any. And I was like, why don't they like you? I mean, they don't even eat her. And I'm like sitting there like, and so, you know, I'm a leg model. So I'm looking at these castings and it goes, must be blemish free. Take a picture of the front and back of your legs. And I'm like, there's no way. My legs are, I mean, they look like I had like measles. I had so many bites and they were like red and they were all turning dark red. And I read that to her and then she starts laughing. I mean, it was kind of funny. And so then I decided I'm going to put this kind of really strong, it's kind of like an herbal oil on my legs because I thought, well, this will kill the germs. So I put it all on my legs. It was like this tea tree oil kind of thing, but it was all these herbs. It was called thieves, and it was actually created in the Middle East, well, the Middle Ages, so that the thieves wouldn't get the bubonic plague when they robbed from the graves. So this is really strong oil. So I decided I'm going to put this on my mosquito bites. So I did, and I'm going back to bed, and she's like, oh, something stinks. I go, it's my oil. And she goes, well, I go, well, I'm supposed to cut it, but I thought I just put it on straight. And I said, I'm like a human vaporizer. And then she started laughing. She goes, who calls themselves a human vaporizer? Where did you come from? She goes, how do you think like that? I go, I don't know. I just felt like, you know, because instead of diffusing it on to like heat, I just put it on my body. It was so hot. It was the same thing. But then the weirdest thing happened. She started getting bites. And so I took a picture of her butt. Her butt was covered with bites. And so that was kind of making us even. She had butt cuts. I mean, little like sprinkles. And then I had my legs. Finally, they healed, though. It was amazing. I don't know. I thought it was going to take forever, but it was not too bad by the time I came home. Let's see, what other things?
About these things, and they are pretty miraculous. Yes, I am ditzy. So yes, I am a little bit spaced out, and I probably don't function exactly the way other people do, but I am doing my best. And
Oh yeah, then she tells me about, well, I think I mentioned about how, you know, I shouldn't take any shampoo when we go on our trip to Laguna. Laguna was this resort, and I was trying to pack, and she goes, you can use my shampoo. I said, oh, okay. So we get to Laguna, and I said, Michelle, where's your shampoo? She goes, oh, I didn't bring it. I go, you said I could use it, but you didn't bring it? She goes, no. I'm like, okay, this is how she rolls. She says things, but then, you know, but it's okay because, you know, we still had fun. And then we swam nude. We went downstairs. It was at night. And she goes, these steps look so dangerous. I go, how dangerous could they be? And I fall all the way down these steps after I said that because it was all wet. And I thought, why should I wear shoes? Because shoes could just get wet. I said, I don't need to wear shoes. And then now I see why you wear shoes, because obviously I landed right in this hole. My foot was wedged in this hole, but then I started laughing because it was just so stupid. After I just told her what could go wrong, and then that was my second foot. Because my other foot I already had damaged when she shut the lights off when she took the light switch out. So every day I would be in more pain and damage, but I could hardly walk by the end of the trip. I had to get special shoes. But anyway, I made it. I'm alive, and it was still worth it because we had fun.
I took forever to get a cell phone. I was never going to be one of those people that put a phone up in their face and was going like this all the time. I just thought, ooh, I don't want to be that kind of person. They're boring. They don't talk back. They're just in their phones like this. Well, I finally got one, and now I'm one of those people, but I'm trying to figure it all out because there's a lot to learn. Well, should we go in the house?
Yeah.
Look at that bird. It's beautiful.
So cute, yeah.
Wow.
Michelle, I've told you, please don't. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.